Alright everyone, after pretty much taking last week off, it's time for me to get back in habit and get back in my routine of doing previews and recaps. Now this week, the Fighting Irish are on the road at the Pitt Panthers. Kickoff time is noon tomorrow, 11 o'clock a.m. my time, so it's going to be an early one. Now, the Irish are coming off their first win of the season with a victory last week over then 15 Michigan State, which I was particularly happy about. And the Pitt Panthers are coming off a devastating loss to the Iowa Hawkeyes. So basically, Pittsburgh kind of got a taste of how we've felt all year with letting games slip away. At one point in that game, the Panthers had a 24-3 lead, and they let it slip away. So they're going to be hungry to get back on track with getting a win over us. Now, breaking down the Panthers, they are led by quarterback Tino Sunseri. From what I've seen of Sunseri in the past couple years, he's not a bad quarterback. He's not the best ever, but he's basically your typical run-of-the-mill quarterback. I mean, he has a great arm, has scrambling tendencies. He's no Denard Robinson, but still, you don't want to let this guy get away and make something happen. Other weapons on that Pitt offense is running back Ray Graham. Now, Ray Graham is a dual threat at running back. Not only can he run the ball well, but he can also line up as a receiver and be very versatile in that area as well. If I had to compare him to any NFL running back right now, that would definitely be Matt Forte of the Chicago Bears. Because let's see, I think last week at Iowa, Graham had, I believe, 95 yards on the ground and about 40 or 50 yards in the air. So he's definitely a dual threat. So it's going to be important that we shut him down. Now definitely, Pittsburgh's big threat at wide receiver is Devin Street. I believe he had over 100 yards and one touchdown at Iowa. I think maybe two. I'm not sure. I'll have to go recheck that, but whatever. His numbers were somewhere in that proximity, so forgive me for not being exact here. But anyway, keys for the Irish victory in this one. Definitely the big one is to shut down running back Ray Graham. I remember last year when Dion Lewis was still with Pittsburgh, him and Graham were definitely a two-headed monster. And I remember everyone was predicting Lewis and Graham to have a field day with our defense last year in South Bend, but we shut them down completely. They couldn't do. I think we combined yards. We held them to, I think, 60 or 70 yards total last year. But this year, I really do see us shutting Graham down because our defensive line is 100 times better than what it was last year. So that is definitely I do definitely see that happening tomorrow. Another key to victory is our defensive backfield showed signs of improvement last week, but another key thing is our defensive backfield has to continue to step up, build off of what we did last week. I mean, overall, we're only 3 games in, but overall, this has been a pretty rough year for our defensive backfield and pass coverage. It's been tough, and particularly for Gary Gray. I mean, he had a rough time against Michigan covering passes, and he was able to redeem himself last week. And I just hope Gary in particular can get better. But as a group, we have to improve, and I honestly do think that we will step up to the plate and take care of business tomorrow. So if we can shut them down, stay tight on the coverage, then I do like our chances of victory tomorrow. Also, another key to victory for the Irish is going to be attacking that Pittsburgh secondary. Now, even though I just got done rambling about how much our defensive backfield has struggled this year, Pittsburgh has had a more rough go of, they have had a more rough go of it than we have. I mean, I think right now they average about giving up 340 pass yards a game. And last week, Iowa's quarterback, I forget his name, I think it's Vandenborg or something like that. NCAAF Productions, if you're watching this, correct me on that last name. But the Iowa quarterback threw for 400 yards against these guys last week. And with our receiving core and Floyd, T.J. Jones, Theo Riddick, Tyler Eifert, I expect Tommy Rees to have a big game tomorrow. Michael Floyd, T.J. Jones, all those guys. So attacking their secondary is going to be a big key to victory tomorrow. Put it this way. When Pittsburgh played Maine, Maine's quarterback, and this is not a disrespect to Maine, but they're not exactly what you would call a high-caliber team. But Maine's quarterback threw for over 330 yards against that Pitt secondary and 3 touchdowns. And they almost won the game, too. I mean, granted, Maine never led the game, but they stuck around. They would not go away. So think of what Notre Dame could do to these guys tomorrow. So attack, attack, attack in the air. That is, I mean, as if our running game is not going to be tough enough to stop, but Pittsburgh, I will give them credit on this. They do have a great rush defense, but even so, I see Sierra Wood and Jonas Gray exposing the holes that they have there. So my final prediction, guys, I honestly see us winning this game big tomorrow, and I would really like it if this offense could break 40 points. So that's it. That's my final prediction. I see us going into Heinz Field tomorrow and winning this one big. Final score prediction: Notre Dame 42, Pittsburgh 20. So there you go, guys. That's all that I have for you. Pretty simple as always, but that's what I'm good at. I just like to keep things simple. You know, I know I'm not a professional, but I just call it like I see it. I just judge by the numbers. So there you go, guys. With that, this is ND Sean 45. Go Irish! Beat Pittsburgh! Catch you guys for the recap.